They say there's a room that doesn't exist on any floor plans. Room 318. And everyone who enters it comes back. Different. If they come back at all. It started with a door. A door that no one had opened in over 20 years. And one Nathan Reeves was about to unlock. Nathan never wanted to come back to Lakemore. He'd buried the place along with his childhood. The pine-soaked streets, the silences thicker than fog, and that ever-present feeling that something watched you from behind the curtains. But fate doesn't ask. It writes letters. Henry Reeves, deceased. Property inheritance confirmed. Lakemore Lodge is now under your ownership. He didn't remember Uncle Henry, didn't want the building, and yet, something about that name, Lakemore Lodge, pulled him back. Now he stood in front of it, 3 stories of weather-worn wood and crooked shutters, the kind of place that shouldn't be standing, but was, like it refused to die. As Nathan stepped inside, the old service bell above the door gave a slow, aching chime. The smell hit first. Old varnish, damp carpet, and something underneath. Something sweet, like rotting flowers. And then the voice. "Welcome back, Mr. Reeves." A woman stood behind the front desk, straight-backed in a pale blue uniform. Her name tag read, Marjorie. "You know me?" Nathan asked. She smiled like she'd been expecting him. "I've worked here since 1982. Your uncle said you'd come, eventually. I never even met the man." "Some bonds don't need meetings," she said. "He left the lodge to you. It's yours now." "Is it operational?" "Fully. Staff still here. Rooms kept. We've been expecting." That word again. Expecting. She handed him a brass key with a room number etched in fading numbers. 314. As she passed it into his palm, her tone dropped. "Stay out of room 318, Marjorie said suddenly, her voice low and deliberate. "It was sealed for a reason. People who go inside don't come out quite the same." Nathan blinked. "That's comforting," he muttered. She didn't laugh. The hallway creaked as he walked. The carpet was dark green, thick and aged. Walls lined with faded wallpaper and dusty sconces that hummed faintly, like they remembered electricity but hadn't quite accepted it. Room 314 was on the second floor. He unlocked it slowly. Inside, old furniture, everything still in place. A wardrobe, a writing desk, a bed that looked unused for years, but somehow freshly made. He opened the window. The breeze smelled of pine, but as he inhaled, something else lingered, a scent he couldn't place, sweet again, sickly. Down the hall, something clicked. He turned. The hallway was empty, but he was sure, absolutely sure, that he heard a door creak open, and then close, softly, deliberately. Back downstairs, Nathan explored the main hall. The walls were lined with black and white photos of past guests. None of the faces looked familiar, but one photograph, slightly tilted, caught his eye. It showed a man in a long coat standing at the top of the stairs. The nameplate read, H. Reeves, founder. Nathan leaned closer. The man in the photo looked exactly like him. Same eyes, same chin, even the posture. He backed away. Coincidences build character, he told himself. But his voice didn't sound convinced. That night, Nathan woke to the sound of footsteps, coming from above, from the 3rd floor, from room 318. Nathan didn't sleep well. The bed was fine, firm, clean, surprisingly comfortable, but something about the air kept him half awake. It was too still, too heavy, like the walls were waiting for something. At exactly 3:18 a.m., a soft sound woke him. Footsteps, measured, slow, on the floor above. He sat up, heart tapping against his ribs. 3rd floor, room 318. He told himself it was probably the night staff, or some creaking pipes, or the wind. But the sound came again, a heel drugging faintly across the floorboards. He didn't open the door, didn't move, just listened, until the sound stopped, and didn't come back. Morning came thick with fog. The entire world outside the window was reduced to pale grey shapes and blurry pine outlines. Downstairs, Marjorie was reading a guest ledger, her glasses hanging low on her nose. "Sleep well?" she asked without looking up. "There was noise," Nathan said. "Late. From upstairs." She murmured. "Old buildings have memories. They shift at night. Was anyone on the third floor?" She looked up, her eyes narrow. "No one stays there." "Why not?" She said nothing. Nathan noticed the log she was writing in, a thick leather-bound registry of check-ins and check-outs. Some pages were yellowed, others more recent. He reached for it. "Mind if I look?" Marjorie hesitated, but slid the book toward him. Names, dates, room numbers, scribbled notes. It went back decades. He skimmed through. Random entries, tourists, couples, business travelers. The rooms ranged from 201 to 317. But nothing listed past that. No 318. Until one page. A single line. N. Reeves, room 318, October 17th. He froze. That was today's date. "This can't be right," he whispered. "Sometimes the book writes before the guest arrives," Marjorie said softly. "What?" "Or sometimes," she added, "the guest was already here. They just didn't know it yet." Nathan left the book and wandered through the lodge. The corridors were quiet, carpeted in silence. He passed room 315, then 316, then a blank door. No number. Painted over. The air here was colder, and when he leaned closer, he noticed something. A small scratch in the wood, where a number had once been. 3, 1, 8. He reached to touch it, but a sudden chill shot up his arm, like static. The door vibrated. He stepped back. Then a voice, faint, from behind the door. A whisper. He couldn't make out the words, but it said his name. Not shouted, not cried. Just said it, as if the room already knew him. That evening, Nathan found a key under his pillow, a brass one. It wasn't for room 314. It was labeled 318. Nathan didn't remember falling asleep. But sometime after dusk, he awoke with a weight in his chest and a bitter taste on his tongue. He reached under the pillow, half dreaming, and his fingers closed around something cold. A key. The brass felt familiar, heavy. The number engraved was clear, 318. He didn't move right away, just stared at it. Something in his body said no, but something else, something deeper, whispered, "Now." The staircase creaked as he climbed to the third floor. No lights were on. The hallway was a hollow tunnel, lined with darkness. Dust danced in the air, though he felt no breeze. Each step felt like stepping further from the world he knew. He passed the faded rooms. 312, 313, a wall. Then, there it was. A door with no number. Still sealed with painted wood, but cracked now, as if something behind it had started to push. Just slightly. He slid the key into the lock. The moment it clicked, the temperature dropped. The hallway groaned. And behind the door came a sound. A breath. Not his. The door opened with a whisper. No resistance. No creak. Inside, a room identical in layout to his own. Same bed, same furniture. But everything wrong. A thin layer of dust coated every surface, but the bed was sunken in, as if someone had been lying there, just moments ago. The mirror above the desk was covered in black cloth. The closet door was ajar, and the smell, stronger here than ever, Flowers, dead ones, heavy, sweet. Nathan stepped inside, the door shut behind him. The silence was different here, dense, like fabric pressed to your ears. He walked to the desk. On it, a photograph in a cracked frame. It showed a man in front of the lodge. Not Henry Reeves, it was him, Nathan, younger, wearing clothes he didn't own, standing in a time he didn't recognize. He turned the photo over. No date, no inscription, only one word, written in thick black ink. Again. Then came the creak. From the closet. He turned. The door was still ajar, but wider now. Nathan stepped closer. Inside, empty hangars, bare wood, dust. And then, a whisper, from nowhere and everywhere. "Do you remember?" He froze. The voice was his, exactly his, but more tired, more hollow. "You came back. Again." He stumbled backward, heart thudding, breath quick. The mirror. He pulled the cloth away. The reflection stared back. It wasn't him. The same face, same body. But the eyes. They were wrong. Too still. Too knowing. And it smiled. Behind him the door locked, not by the handle, but by voice. And it said, "Welcome home." Nathan backed away from the mirror. The reflection kept smiling. It blinked, but he hadn't. It tilted its head, the opposite direction. Then it mouthed something. He couldn't hear it, just lips moving. One word. Over and over. "Stay." He turned. The door was gone. Not closed. Gone. Only wallpaper where it once was, seamless and yellowing. The room had sealed him in. He called out, pounded the wall. Nothing. No echo. No sound at all. It was like the air had swallowed noise. Then the whisper came again. Not from the closet, not from the mirror, from the bed. He turned slowly. The blankets were moving. Slightly. As if someone lay beneath them, breathing shallowly. Nathan stepped forward. The air around the bed felt warmer, denser, like being inside someone's lungs. He reached out, pulled the blanket back. The bed was empty, but under the pillow, a photograph, another one. It showed a child, alone in the woods, back turned to the camera, a shadow looming behind him, larger than human. On the back, the same word. Again. He sat down, heart racing. The room pulsed, the light dimming and swelling as if to a rhythm. Then the closet opened fully. Inside, not hangers, a staircase, winding, narrow, leading down. He hesitated, then stepped inside. The stairs groaned, each step echoing with voices. Whispers, not words, memories, spoken aloud in someone else's voice. "Don't leave him. It was your fault. You always come back." The deeper he went, the more the staircase stretched, impossibly long, until it opened into a room. His childhood bedroom. Exactly the same. The old lamp with the dinosaur sticker, the cracked toy chest, the wallpaper with tiny clouds. Nathan stared. Everything was perfect. And on the bed, a boy, curled up, back turned. He walked closer. The boy didn't move. "Hello?" Nathan whispered. The child sat up slowly, turned. It was him, 8 years old, pale, eyes red from crying. He stared at Nathan. "You left me." Nathan opened his mouth. Nothing came. The boy stood. "You left me here, with him." "With who?" Nathan managed to say. The boy pointed toward the closet. Inside, darkness, deeper than black. A space that wasn't empty, it was waiting, and from that black came the sound of footsteps, heavy, measured, coming closer. "He's still here," the boy whispered. "And now, he looks like you." Nathan couldn't move. The boy's words echoed through the room like a breath that wouldn't leave. "He's still here. And now, he looks like you." The closet creaked. From its black open mouth, the sound of breathing grew louder, slow, wet, like something trying to mimic life. Nathan grabbed the boy's arm. "We have to go." But the child shook his head. "You don't remember. But I do." "Remember what?" The boy looked at him, eyes filled with something too old for childhood. "You made the deal." A pause. "You said yes, in this room, a long time ago." Nathan backed away. The footsteps from the closet stopped. Silence. Then a voice. "You're the one who stayed." It wasn't a growl. It wasn't human. It was low, patient, like the ground speaking. Nathan turned. Something stepped out of the darkness. Not a monster. Not a demon. Himself. But older. Worn. Eyes sunken. Mouth dry. But worst of all, calm. He spoke. "You came here as a boy. You begged not to forget. So you left part of you behind. Me." Nathan shook his head. "No. I've never. You chose to forget. To escape. But memories rot in rooms that stay closed." The boy took Nathan's hand. "It's why you keep dreaming this place. Why it never feels new. Because you never left." Nathan stared at his double. "What are you?" The older version of him smiled, sad and understanding. "I'm the part you buried, the echo. I keep the door closed until you're ready to open it again." And suddenly the room began to shift. The walls peeled away like paper. Furniture dissolved into dust. They stood in a grey void now, infinite. 3 doors appeared. One, bright light. One, pitch black. One, a mirror. Nathan looked at the boy, then at his double. "What happens if I choose wrong?" The double tilted his head. "You already did. That's why you're here." And the mirror door opened. Inside, not a reflection, but a recording of Nathan saying, "This is the last time." Nathan stood between the doors, light, darkness, and the mirror, where his reflection no longer mirrored him. The boy held his hand tighter. The older version of himself stepped aside, gesturing calmly. "You know which one you've always chosen." Nathan didn't move. The mirrored door was still open. Inside, not glass, not a reflection, a screen. On it, footage. Blurry at first, but then clear. Nathan, younger, speaking to a camera. "If I'm watching this, it means I've forgotten again," the recorded version said. "Room 318 is not a place. It's a container. For me. The parts of me I couldn't face. Don't trust the voices. Don't trust the man who looks like you. And if you see the boy, run." The screen went black. Nathan turned to the boy. He was gone. So was the older version. Just the doors remained, and something behind them, breathing. He walked toward the mirror door, paused, then turned, and chose the light. The moment he touched the handle, everything vanished. The void, the walls, the memory of ever having stood there. Nathan woke up in a hospital bed, beeping. White lights, sterile air. A nurse leaned over him. "You're awake," she said. "You've been unconscious for nearly 3 days." His voice cracked. Where am I?" "St. Augustine's Medical. You were found unconscious in an abandoned lodge outside Lakemore. Nothing left but walls." He blinked. "Room 318. The nurse frowned. "I'm sorry. That lodge doesn't have a 3rd floor." Weeks passed. Nathan tried to move on, but sometimes, in reflections, he'd see something. Off. A flicker. A shadow. And one day, while cleaning out his inbox, he found an old, unsent email draft. No subject, no address, just a message. "This is the last time. Don't go back." And below, in small broken letters, "Again." The lodge was never on the map, the number never listed, the room never open. Until it is. If you're still here, like, comment, and subscribe. More stories are coming, darker, deeper, and closer than you think.